Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I'm Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the Den.
Go lock in with Tamika's Den. Ooh, that's fire. Go lock in with Tamika's Den.
Power to the people, okay? She's feeling like I'm about to come out and box. Like, because baby, they trifling, okay? All these people need to be in the damn trash, all right? Throw the tajadas away. As a matter of fact, wipe the damn bloodline out, y'all.
Nigga did. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you spend a Saturday.
Honey, when I tell y'all that is the foolishness and the foolery and the messiness for me, baby, we got a whole hot ass mess going on, all right? Hello, 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 everybody. What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, get on in here, y'all. Know we a little late. Apologize. What's up, Eric H? Hey, all in. Thank y'all for popping in. Anybody else that may be watching from the bushes, make sure y'all hit that like. Of course, we are here to talk about Welcome to Derry. You know, this is episode 3. Now you see me, okay? Now you see me. What did you think about this one, Monique? What was your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. Ooh, them kids, they gave me a heart attack. Like, I was like, oh, but yeah, I enjoyed it. This is like you get more filling, like you put more filling in a taco, like you add in the toppings because we see the beginning of 1908, so where all started. So yeah, so I'm glad of that. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I was very entertained. Ain't had too many jump scares or what's it called, grotesque things happening. You know what I mean? So
yeah, some people was kind of complaining about that. They were saying they didn't like episode 3 as much as 1 and 2. They felt like it wasn't as much action, and then the action we did get, they were saying, you know, the graphics and then CGIs or whatever the case may be was not really popping like that. But for me, I was okay with it because I know we hear people want to see Pennywise and as we in Derry and we want to see things go down. But I also feel like they came in so hot with episode 1 and 2 and they gave us so much, especially with them births. I was like, I don't want to see no more dead births. I'm good on that. That I didn't mind us kind of simmering and slowing it down a little bit, getting the backstories and the character development. I was okay with that. I thought they did a good job, and you know, I'm still just as much interested and just as much eager to see what's going to be happening. Okay. But let me go ahead and pull up these slides. So, of course, like you just finished mentioning, we kind of started in 1908, and we don't know who this is at first that we see him, but we know that we over here like at a circus carnival type of situation. And first thing right off the bat, as we walking into this carnival, we seeing some damn clown sitting on the side with some red balloons, like, and even the little things that they had as targets, you know, for it to be shot down. Some of those was clowns and then some of them was the turtles. So it's like we always see the clown and the turtle because of course when it comes to this, and I'll forget the name, I'm sure somebody could tell me in the chat, but the turtle kind of symbolizes the opposite of, you know, Pennywise or it, whatever you want to call it. And the last week when Torian was up here with us, he was mentioning how 1908 is something that they definitely want to cover. I think that's going to be like season 3. So we know that with, you know, Pennywise, he comes out every 27 years. And so we getting, this is 1962 where we at in the present time. Then 1935 would be season 2 and 1908 would be season 3. So for the fact that they went back to 1908 to kind of give us this little bit of a backstory and how it's connected into it, that was really interesting for me, because I want to say in the book, And again, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert with these things. It's so long since I've seen the books or that I've even watched the movies, but vaguely remember certain things. In the book, I think it's 1906, but as far as the series, it's 1908 because we want to keep that 27-year mark from how they did the movies. And
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be like the Ironwork Kitchen tragedy also happens in that year. So I'm assuming that's what they're gonna go into more once they get into that season where you had like over 100 and something people taken out in an explosion that happens, and 88 of those were children. So that's definitely gonna be interesting. Like in all these years when he comes back or he's awakened, however you want to look at it, it's always a tragedy that takes place during that time. So anyway, we get here, we at this carnival, and we see him go into this tent where they have all these different people, and this was the skeleton man, I think. Child, this thing scared the hell out of me. I ain't even gonna lie. He over here talking about come closer, come closer, come closer. I was saying like, hell no, back up. There's no way that I would have been walking in there going no closer in pitch black. What about you, Monique? You was walking up to this
Oh hell no, I ain't walking up to that.
by your
Uh
top of that?
yeah. Hell no. Look, he got one eye. No, look, missing teeth. No, heck no. I'm like, why does you
Hmm.
keep going? He said coming closer. I'm like, you keep going closer. It's like he got you. This entity got you all wrapped up, so you keep going
Hmm.
closer. I'm like, heck no. It's
Yeah.
like you curious and you not curious. You know how you so
Hmm.
curious, but you scared at the same time.
Yes.
You
Uh-huh.
doing some crazy stuff.
Right,
So
Orlin. We ain't walking into no darkness. They knew they couldn't get a black person to do this. What's up, P. Bronson? What's going on? I don't watch the show. Just wanted to hit the like button for you. Well, we definitely appreciate you for popping in and showing support.
all right.
So yeah, when he got up close and you got missing teeth, a whole missing eyeball, I don't blame him. He goes running out. First thing, he runs into his dad, who's like basically telling him, "Don't be a little scaredy cat." He gives
Mm-hmm.
him this I forget what the hell you don't call that thing, little slingshot thing, and he
Yeah, the
was super.
slingshot. Mhm.
Okay. And he was super like, happy and excited to get that. And the car breaks down and he tells him to go over here to where you have these little Native American children selling waters. And he was short on the water, it's supposed to be 5 cents, and I think he might have gave them 3 cents. So of course she was like, well, you could go ahead and run me that slingshot. And later daddy was asking him, like, what the hell happened to your slingshot? But he had a little smile on his face because obviously he liked the girl or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did you have any thoughts on this? Did you know where this was going when we were seeing this part?
Um, no, but that was like okay, Native American, but we have seen some in the first
Mm-hmm.
two episodes, and I thought about the lady at the store, and I also thought about the people who was uh on this secret digging scene
Mm-hmm.
with the binoculars and stuff.
Yes.
So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, so we're gonna see how the natives be involved.
Right.
So that was good to
Mm-hmm.
see. But I didn't know
Yeah.
it was these people's later. You know what I mean? In the show.
Right. Yeah, because I was trying to see like, okay, what's the connection? Um, So this is where he pisses me off at because we see all of them playing out in the field. He's actually, back with the little girl at this time. But when it gets to a certain point, she's literally yelling at him like, "Yo, stop, don't go. Okay, Francis, stop." He act like he don't hear a damn thing.
Right.
He continues to go. And then you seeing something creeping and typical. I'm sorry, but y'all clear people, y'all be doing it. Who's there? Like, hello? No, we not saying all that. The minute I hear something creaking, my ass is going back. You should have been going back anyway. Once you
Right.
saw that you was literally running by your damn self, I was so confused and so pissed off. And of course, now this is Pennywise basically using his fears since he knows that he was just scared of the skeleton man back at the carnival. We gonna turn into him and we're gonna start, chasing your ass. I was like, what the hell? And of course, the Native American girl has to come in for the save and get his ass out of there. And the slingshot actually end up, being a help. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
it saved his damn life with her doing that. And if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember if it was the 1986 one or the 2017 one, but I think they used a slingshot in that one too, or they flung something at it to get rid of him at that time. But so I kind of felt like that was similar. Um, but yeah, she came in for the save with that one. I was like, child, that thing looked crazy as hell to me.
Oh yeah, it did. It is crazy. Yeah, but he kept running. I was like, come on, man. She told you to chill, she told you to stop. And you kept going. I didn't, yeah. I'm
She
like, you
talking
get
about,
what you
see,
get
that's
now.
why. Candy talking about, see, that's why I can't do it. Yes, you can, Candy. Okay.
You
Yes, you
can,
can.
girl. Yeah, but this thing, I'm like, oh, look at all these mini teeth. I'm like, yep, that's it. That's it right
Oh,
there.
Orlin
Crazy.
says this reminded her of the walkers from Game of Thrones. Hmm,
Yeah,
I
I
could
can see
kind of
that.
see that.
Yeah.
Until he started stretching out and all that. That was extra, extra, but yeah. Um, so now I was surprised with this. Like Lily mom was already here to pick her up. Which on the
Mm-hmm.
one hand, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that she getting out, right? The doctor, if I'm not mistaken, you could correct me if I'm wrong, was
Mm-hmm.
saying like they was gonna let her go home, but if she had to come back again, it would be for a longer time. And I think we was like gonna have to start giving her the lobotomies, because y'all know back then it was either lobotomies or shock. They wasn't giving you,
Yep.
treating you the way they do now. Was a whole different ball game. And oh my god, I'm so sorry, y'all. Kayla is driving me crazy. I might have to lock her out of here.
So the doctor, I'm like, is this was she was there for a weekend? Yeah, or the jacket. Yeah, for the or the jacket. But I was like, was she there for a whole week, a weekend, or 2 weeks? I don't know. But yeah, the mom came and picked the child up, and she up there talking to it looked like a housekeeper who one of the staff, wait staff, I guess, for the children or for the mental. And
Yeah,
she was,
apparently while she's been on her stay, he said they got close, and that was Madeline Stowe, right? I haven't seen her in a minute.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was her. Looked like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so she got close to her, and she was just saying like she seemed like the Lily opened up to her about what she saw. Okay, and um the lady had to, like, everybody ain't gonna believe you until they see for themselves, basically. It's them type of things, like, because she said she believed her, like she believed that she saw something, but it's like they have to see it for themselves to order to believe that. You know what I mean? Because when Lily do describe, when these kids do describe them things, they do sound a little out there when it comes to the adults and stuff like that. But unless you see it
Yeah,
for
of
your own
course
self.
they just gonna look at it like it's your imaginations. Kids be scared of, the dark and things under their bed and monsters. They not seeing this, so I can definitely understand how the parents, would not believe it. Now, I do get, on one hand, I want to be happy that at least Lily have somebody to talk to, and that do sound like common sense. Like, oh, if people don't believe what they can't see, and she's seeming like she's a friend to her, and that maybe it might be deeper, and she might actually have some info or saw some weird stuff since she been here too. But on the other hand, I'm like, is she acting like she helping Lily and something else gonna be going on with this lady? I don't know. I kind of got an eye on her. But right now, I'm happy that somebody is in her corner, because Mama is only in her corner up until a certain point, depending on how you looking at it. And of course, the kids ain't in her corner. So I don't know. I did think that was interesting that she felt comfortable enough to talk to her about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells her like, okay, you're gonna have to prove it. They're gonna have to see what you saw. So of course, we'll get to that in a minute, but that kind of gives Lily an idea. Now the sheriff comes to talk. Oh Lord, I feel so bad for I feel so bad for him. What's his name? I had to write it down because y'all know I was jacking up the names last week. Ronnie's father, Hank. He's in
Hank.
jail, and the damn sheriff comes to talk to him. And this kind of took me to memory lane because he had Paul Mall cigarettes that he was giving him when my aunt, God bless the day, used to smoke Paul Mall cigarettes. I was like, oh shoot, I ain't seen those in a long time since I was a kid. But
Right.
he was passing him one of those, trying to act like he coming in as a friend, even though we clearly know he full of crap.
Right.
And of course he mentions a Shawshank Prison, which, you know, if y'all ever saw Shawshank Redemption, great movie. You know,
Yeah.
they also, it's other movies and other books that it's been into. I don't remember. That's why I was kind of like wanting to see more of what Lily's experience was gonna be inside of there, because that facility done had all different kind of taking out people, you know, all different walks of life as far as adults, let alone whatever they do to the kids. So I did kind of want an inside look on that. I don't know if we're gonna get it before the season is over, but they're telling him you'll get sent there. And of course, he don't want that. And, you know, basically this sheriff, we already know he just trying to set him up and, you know, put him away any means necessary. So now he pulls out a pack of cigarettes that he allegedly found, and he's saying he have this witness all of a sudden. You couldn't find nothing before. And of course, it's going to be cigarettes there, you know, or any of his fingerprints or anything else around the area where he was always at. So that's still not proving nothing. That's still circumstantial. But of course, we're talking about the 60s. We're talking about a black man, so we know what the setup is already. And but I did feel like it's more to the story that Hank is not telling him, but I can't really be mad at him for not telling him. Like, how did you feel with this whole thing?
Well, yeah, I didn't like it at all because okay, you offer me cigarettes. I'm like, what's the catch? Because they were doing small talk about the brand. He said he don't care for that kind of brand, but he said, but I actually smoke this kind of brand, and he so happened to pull the pack out his pocket. I'm like, come on, that could be anybody's cigarettes. Okay. Talk about we don't got that brand on this side of town, whatever. Okay. You just saying only on the black side that they sell this certain brand of cigarettes. Just say that. But yeah, so it's so convenient. I'm like, that could be anybody's. And mind you, DNA Dana didn't like really exist back then.
Exactly.
That's I'm like, yo, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
So you just find so happen to find a pack of cigarettes that he smoked. Okay, that should be enough. That should not be enough, but this is the 60s, so there's that, and he's a black guy, so it's not
Right.
no surprise there. It was just an effed up situation because he didn't do it.
Right. Yeah.
Now you gotta go to little Shawshank.
Yeah, I feel so bad for him. So then you get Ronnie going to school, and these raggedy asses done wrote all over her locker. I don't forgot what the hell they wrote there.
It said Hatch and Hank going to fry.
Right. And she looked over at the patty cake girls, but they raggedy asses. They giving her the side eyes. You know, you already know it's something fishy, that they probably had something to do with it. And, you know, Patty started with the smirk on her face. And at the same time, Rich, I always be wanting to call him little Richie Rich.
Yeah,
He
right.
is funny because he makes a comment, you know, oh wow, I wonder how, like, I'm paraphrasing, how she feel like her fathers are taken out of him. He's like, it gotta be true because they, you know, they gotta have the evidence. They done locked him up, and you know they wouldn't put him away if he didn't do it. You know, this country don't do that, or that's not this country, something along them lines. And little Will was like, where you live at? Like, what country are you talking about? Okay, Lee already have the experience where he know they absolutely will do this shit in this damn country. Like, you better catch up.
Yeah, I don't know what country you from.
Ronnie just immediately starts to wipe this off with, you know, her hands. She don't give a damn. She was rubbing the hell out of it, and of course her hands look all red, as if, like, you know, to symbolize blood on your hands. Not,
Right.
you know.
And you know that's probably lipstick or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And lipstick was lipsticking back in the day.
Right.
So yeah, I saw that coming when they call her Hatchet Hank's kid. But the fried thing, we did see Pennywise as the mom. She said you're gonna kill unalive your father, he gonna fry and stuff like that. So it's everything she saw when she's being manipulated in that vision. What's gonna happen to her daddy? And I hope not, but it's heading that way. But yeah, it was just me. I didn't like it. I just felt bad for her, and I know she's gonna she's a strong character. Ronnie, she's a strong girl for the most part, and I know she wasn't gonna let that or let these kids get to her when it comes to her dad, but she just knows she got to prove his innocence. And the way Will looking, because Will is he kind of like her, as we saw in the last episode. And what's his name? Little Rich. Rich over there. They're just looking like, dang, nobody want to talk to her. So just like they did Lily, they doing her like they did Lily. So it's nothing new. Yeah, Ronnie is tough. She is. She's a tough cookie. And yeah.
Yeah, she definitely is tough. She's my favorite character. She don't be playing. I'm trying to see. I don't know. That's so weird because it's saying that uh you connected, but it's not streaming to your channel. I don't know what happened with that.
Maybe because I was on the live before and they got it on local recording. It's taking forever for it to upload. I don't know.
Oh wow. Hank is hiding something though. Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's something he not telling them about where he was at, but in his position, I can't really be mad at him either for not telling them everything because it's not like they really on his side and they really trying to help him. So, but I did feel like he was holding something back. I just don't know what it is. So of course she ended up going in the bathroom, to wash her hands. And Miss Lily come in to have this conversation with her and tell her about this idea, I guess, that she done came up with, from the conversation that she had with the housekeeper. What you thought about this and what do you think about her idea and how Ronnie came at her? Ronnie don't be playing, baby.
Oh yeah, like we said, she's tough and she does not play. You like girl, like she run up on her like okay, because mind you, Lily did talk to that lady when she left the place. How she's gonna make it right. For the people she hurt, which is Ronnie. About her dad, and she feel bad about it, and she want to do everything to make it right. So she came to approach her, and Ronnie is not really trying to hear it. Because what happened with her dad and of it all, and she just said, Lily revealed that she saw it again at the grocery store. That's why she was sent to the asylum, right? Because she saw her dad in pickle jars. So
Exactly.
she had an episode at the grocery store, and I think that kind of softened it up Ronnie a little bit, especially when she said, "Okay, um, it's gonna sound crazy." He said, "I can tell the cops." He said, "I could tell the cops that about what I saw, but it's gonna sound crazy, and they might take me back, and this probably still ain't gonna help your father. But we need some proof." And in order to get proof, she had this camera with the flash cube on it. How cute! Yeah, so she had this
I
camera.
remember those cameras. My mother had one of those.
Yeah, so she got they want to take pictures of the thing. I'm like, girl, how y'all gonna if y'all gonna be not afraid enough to take a snap a picture? That's I'm like, that's the question. Like,
right, and even Ronnie saying, "Oh, you think it's gonna stop?" Like, hey, cheese, and let you
jeez,
get damn.
right. Right. Strike a pose. Like, no. I said the same thing. Like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
it was funny. I mean, it is an idea, but she said, plus, I don't know how to even do you even know how to develop film for that thing?
Right.
Like, yo, so that's a good question because you know how they got to develop film back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. You got to use
Yeah, as
that.
soon as they said that, I knew she was gonna go to Will, and that's how he was gonna come into play because we
Yeah.
saw the whole conversation with him last week and how he was able to break down the chemicals that's used for the stink bomb
Jupiter
and
yeah,
yeah, talking about Jupiter and the stars, and he's all
basically
into science, so he would be like the closest person to um
know how
ask
to
in this
develop.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get here with Mr. Francis Shaw, okay, General Francis Shaw, and we actually find out that because I was saying last week, is that car from
I thought it was the car from
the
when
family in the
Maddie when
beginning?
Maddie
Yeah, when
but
Maddie,
but when I watched it again, I said, oh, nope. I saw money
right,
and I
yeah, it
saw
was
a gun.
money and the hammers and all of that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
come to find out, there's an event that happens, and I think this event might have happened in the 1930s, if I'm not mistaken, like
Yeah.
1935,
935.
with
Yeah.
the Bradley Game massacre. So that's probably what we'll get in season 2 in more detail. But um this is also something that's in the books, and that, if I'm not mistaken, again, I'm sure someone will correct me,
It is in the book, I
was a
believe.
real life gang that was in the that this that they were a real life gang, that a situation happened with them in the town that Stephen King was living in, which gave him the idea, to put this in the book. But the way that the story goes in the book is that supposedly they was like going around robbing and taking out people, and it
Mm-hmm.
pretty much made it where the town then had a full on shootout with them. And I want to say that the Indians had buried, the car away, and they pretty much had, well, Native Americans pretty much had a tribe that knows about it. I'm assuming may not know exactly what
No
he is. Like
incident, yeah.
right. At first they was trying to get rid of it and they couldn't. The most that they could do is secure it to the one area, and then they also moved out of the area so that they wouldn't be affected by it in the same way that the town of Derry is basically affected by it. So the Native Americans were smart as hell, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, because they be on some other level when it comes to that spirituals
hmm
and things of strange nature.
Yeah. Like watching this actually kind of put me in the mind of the Native Americans that we saw in Sinners, and how they was trying to get them
Okay.
vampires up out of there and warn them, and then they was like, "Oh, okay, well, we going back to our damn house."
Hey,
Like,
right.
kind of remind me of that, right? And then we're also seeing that this government really think that they about to weaponize damn it and use it for this. Like, this is the dumbest damn idea I ever heard in my life. But of course,
Same.
General Shaw, he's looking at the cigar box. At the time, we don't know what's in it, but he's swearing that he about to make these plans. And so, of course, we go from him to our boy Hollerin, okay, Dick Hollerin, and it's time for him to get to work. And you're gonna have Leroy Harlan. Their names are so close, baby. I was jacking them up last week. You're gonna have him and his co-pilot, I forget his name, to fly him, and we pretty much just gonna say like he's a compass. He's like a damn, for us today it would be a GPS, just following wherever the hell he's telling you to go. So they like, huh? But at the end of the day, they getting paid to fly, so they go ahead to take him. What did you think about this whole situation? And when they asking Dick, like, what is up with the bug? He like, even if I tell you, you wouldn't understand. Paulie, thank you so much, Olin. Thank you. What was your thoughts on this, Miss Monique 69 Ways?
Um, this was wild and crazy because I didn't know what was in that cigar box. But we did see it in the past when it was in 1908 when he was the boy was playing with that girl with the slingshot. I mean, he gave up the slingshot when he had to get that water for his pops after the after they went to that carnival or whatever. But yeah, I didn't know it was that in there. I'm like, okay, something's up with this slingshot. Did the entity get the slingshot, or is pulling from it got some kind of energy from during that time that it first appeared? But I ain't know what was in there until he opened. I'm like, oh, that's it. But they said he need to be in the air. I'm like, that's kind of dangerous. That's all I was thinking. Kind of dangerous messing with it.
Right.
Okay, of it all. Being in the air.
Exactly.
And they don't know. Paulie and Leroy don't know nothing. They just know they got to fly him whatever direction he say. But yeah, it was scary him being up there and being taken into the entity as he was up there. That was kind of crazy. I thought he was about to jump. I'm like, I know he ain't jumping.
That
This is hollering.
that definitely was crazy. But I definitely was like, oh shit, okay. So that was Francis, the little boy. Because as soon as he had that slingshot, I'm like, wait a damn minute. Okay. I'm like, now I see where y'all kind of I didn't have the full picture, but it started making the picture a little bit clearer, especially with how they started us off and showed us the background, all of that. And then now
like
he's
right, like how you get this slingshot? So that's like how you get this slingshot? Only that little boy had it, because I know y'all didn't dig it up.
Exactly. Yeah. So of course we did, and this transition was so well done. We then go back to, and this part pissed me off too. That's why I said, like, move it. Y'all ain't got time to be stopping and talking, because after she saves him, we find out that she was like, okay, you're safe. It does not leave from out of that part of the woods. And he wanted to stop and have her explain everything to him. It's like, boy, we ain't got time for that. But of course, that's when she tells him all about that. And that's when we realize that Rosie from the store is actually the same, that she's the little girl. So her and Shaw knew each other as kids. Apparently, we found out a little later that they actually had ended up spending the summer together. Now, with her with that store, right, she's also known as the keeper of lost things, right? And we know the connection that when Harlan family first moved there, she's the one that gave him the scope and all of that. Her store is also in the movies, but in the movie, I believe that is Stephen King that's in the store behind the counter. He does like a appearance in it. So obviously her family have been here for generations, and she's familiar, even though I don't know if she knows exactly what the entity is. She's definitely familiar with it. And we found out her nephew, who was, the one we saw with the binoculars looking, he was one of them. Like, they're surveilling it. And she pretty much is saying, we need to keep this going. If we got to put in whatever, what the government will do that, because she wants to know what they're there to do, what they're trying to find. And of course, make sure that they are not messing with any of their, oh gosh, I just forgot the word, but like where their people are buried at and things of that nature. You had any thoughts on any of this? Because I was like, all right, now wait a minute.
Yeah, like you said, it was a good transition to see that this is the young lady in the past and the Rosie of it all, and she already know what's up. No wonder she's like at the town meetings and basically at the center of the town to be in the know of what's going on, especially getting this intel from her nephew about the what they digging up and what they doing there, and her running into General Shaw himself. Child. She said, don't move yet, don't get involved, and don't mess with the graves. You don't want to touch those graves. Because the natives, they big on that. Don't disturb the graves,
Yeah, absolutely. Don't disturb the, hologram. So like you was already mentioning, of course, we get to a point where Hollering is out of it. They trying to get his attention. I can't even remember what Paulie says, but he's heard rumors of investigations going on with cows or goats. Or no, with some kind of animal. And at one point he was bringing that up. Like, do you think that's what they doing? Like, what the hell have they got us into? And Holleran is literally standing and walking at this point, and I just knew, like, oh Lord, don't tell me he about to open up, and I knew he wouldn't fall out, but I'm like, basically put them in danger, especially with him walking around. But for him, he's not even seeing the plane no more. He's actually, wherever, seeing and feeling like he's wherever Pennywise is, so to speak, right? And this scene was so interesting to me because he's seeing water. He sees the door close on him. And then, of course, the yellow eyes. And he hears something say, "Who are you?" And so to me, that was very interesting because I felt, one, Pennywise was surprised or made that he's somebody that's actually looking into him or sensing him or whatever. I don't think maybe he's ever found anybody that had that capability. And at the same time, Holleran is surprised because he like, hold up, wait a damn minute. Like, this MF knows and sees that I'm looking to find where the hell he at. And I guess Pennywise is able to, because his whole thing is he finds your fears. So he's able to dig into Holleran's mind, find his fears, being as though he's fought in I can't remember if it was Vietnam or whatever. He kind of brings up those images from when he was in the war, and he sees his thing, which we've seen this in the movies and in the miniseries too, where all Pennywise bodies, be buried all the way up to the damn sky. But his grandma ends up being one of the bodies that he sees up there, and she kind of gives him the warning because in The Shining and in Dr. Sleep, they do kind of give you the backstory that him and his grandmother were able to talk to each other like they did The Shining with each other. They didn't even have to move their lips. They can just, speak to each other through their thoughts. And so that was like a gift that they had. And so grandma's warning him, like, get the hell out of here. Girl, what did you think about this? I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it was just interesting how he got taken and what he saw, the floating of it all, and what he was trying to do. I was like, please don't try to leave because you're gonna leave off this plane. But yeah, he saw the glowing eyes. I'm like, oh no.
That made me so nervous. Thank God that Mr. Leroy was on top of it and saved his life. Yeah, telepathic. Yeah, telepathic, exactly. Oh man, that was so scary. I was like, wait a damn minute. So of course, now you have Shaw come see him, want to act like he fake concerned, do a check on him after hearing what happened. And you actually have Holleran say, listen, this thing wasn't supposed to see us. It wasn't supposed to know that we was coming. We need to back off. We already know his ass ain't backing off of a damn thing. The government is not backing off of nothing at all whatsoever. Unfortunately, whether you want to give them this warning or not. I also found it interesting. Of course, one thing about Holleran is he do try to get what he could get for himself and for his people as best as he can, since he knows that, he's in this situation and y'all using me for my gift anyway. I might as well get something out of it. So of course he starts to ask about a place for them to be able to go and hang out because he like, we really don't have places. Now I thought last week when they left from the bar and then we see them come all twisted with the corn liquor, I thought he already had, because Holleran does in the books have a spot called the Black Spot where all the Black people come and hang out. And there's something that a tragedy takes place there as well. So that's a whole nother damn story, right? And I thought he already had it, but I guess he doesn't have it yet. And Shaw's actually going to get him that. And I'm going to be so pissed off when we get to what happens there, baby. But he's warning him, like being as though he knows, what's going on, or he knows that we coming after him. We should just chill. And we already know that they ain't going to chill. So I feel kind of bad with that. Now, of course, they get to talk to, Ronnie and Lily get to talk to Will and Rich and tell them what the plan is and ask them about doing, these film for them with the pictures or whatever, right? And Rich had me dying laughing. I said, baby, he a lover, not a fighter. He is so hooked on freaking Marge of all damn people and so in love. And he's also telling Will, like, yeah, you got the hots for Ronnie. And at first, Will was just agreeing with him, like, yeah. But then he like, wait, what? No, I don't. He's like, yes, you do. I could already tell. And, Will basically says, like, I don't necessarily believe her, but I do believe she believes what she's seen, which I couldn't be mad at him for saying that. What did you think about any of this?
Well, at least Will try to believe her. He's like, okay, I believe that she believes she saw something. Okay, I get that approach, but that really didn't help Ronnie later at the gravesite. She was like, yo, but yeah, so they willing to try to help. He gonna try to help. We know that. He have to say he got to think about it and stuff, and he talked to Rich about it, and we already know he kind of smitten over Ronnie, so there's that. And he's smart, so he want to believe in her. And
Yeah.
Lily.
So
Hey,
of course, what's up, Lemon Kush Pepper? Thank you for coming through. Yes, please, everybody, hit that like, comment, share, subscribe. If you are not subscribed, make sure that you hit the like on both channels. I don't know, we kind of having technical difficulties. I don't know if it's gonna come up on Monique's channel later, but if not, I'll do the collaborator thing with you, and I'll try to see if I can send it to you or something like that. We'll work it out. I don't know what was happening because we did get a late start, but nonetheless, we here. And this is Rose, right? Yeah, Rose. Finally seeing, Francis eye to eye, right? And she's surprised that he even remembers her. So I do see that Ali C was asking in the comments, like, why the adults act the way they do, the parents act the way they do, and whether he remembered her or not. Like, was he lying about that part? No, he's not lying. Like, she literally says to him, most people, when they leave Derry, don't remember it anymore, right? Even in the movie, if you guys have ever seen the movie, when they leave, they don't remember. As they come back, the memories start to come back. Pennywise has a way where he kind of could wipe your mind, hypnotize you, along those type of things, right? And when you're not in Derry, you really do forget Derry. So I think that he just followed his father's footsteps and ended up in the military as well, because we see that he was a military kid and he traveled with his father. He was there for the summer, and then they moved on. And now that he came back, I do believe that the memories started flooding back. And by her sending that cease and desist, because he even says, well, I didn't remember your name until you sent this. But it's interesting to me that even though he left and he forgot everything, he always held on to that slingshot.
Yeah. He held on to the slingshot. And when he said he didn't remember till he saw the cease and desist or whatever he put up, he didn't remember her name until that, and how he slowly remember. But she said that's how Derry has a way of doing that to people. I'm like, is you just saying that just to be saying that, or you actually know why that's the case? You know what I mean? Because like you said, we saw it in the movies. In the chapter 2 in the 2019 one, how the ones who went away didn't remember.
Yes.
Well, except for Stanley, he came back because he did something.
Yeah.
So that's like, wait.
And Stanley was actually related to Teddy, so it's funny how you can see, like, this was generational. Like, some of them, they have families that were linked into this too, because Teddy would technically be Stanley's uncle. And then I think we mentioned this last week, but like with Chief Clem Bowers, his son was Bush Bowers, and then there's Henry Bowers that was the bully that ended up in I think he ended up in Shawshank, or either the damn psych place where Lily was at.
I think it was the psych place.
The psych place, right. So it's like we keep also being able to see these connections where this has actually went through generations of them. That part of it is interesting to me too. So of course they get to the spot where she actually used to hang out with, Teddy, Phil's, Susie, and them. She done brought them here for them to discuss what their plan is. And as soon as Rich started telling them about this cousin who knew how to summon up, and some of the ancestors would be angry, and he's using this for when people don't pay him back his money, I was yelling at the TV like, Rich, shut the hell up, because I knew that this plan was not about to be good at all.
I was cracking up at Rich. I ain't gonna hold you.
He was funny though, because he was excited to be here. He like, oh, I like this, and I like the play.
Little shorty, his little short self. I'm like, look at you. I'm like, less is best, Rich. You have to say all that, but talking about if somebody older that they call the spirits on them is just wild to me. But people do that stuff, so hey.
Yeah, they do, but I felt like in this situation we don't need to be calling anything. We know that there's some weird stuff happening. That stuff
you gotta remember Rich. You gotta remember Rich and Will don't, but Lily and Ronnie do.
Yeah.
So they desperate to get this evidence, so we all saw it coming when Rich starts talking about this spirits.
Right.
At the grave site. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was definitely wow. So this was another interesting part that I personally liked. Of course, we have Dick come over for dinner. He brings some flowers. I feel like Charlotte was happy to have somebody else there and be able to have a conversation with them. We get more of her backstory with her being a history teacher, her being overqualified to, take on the jobs there. I know how that feel. And also the background, which I figured that she was kind of into, like the civil rights of it all and being an activist, and that, her husband want her to lay low here. He don't want her to come with that. Anything that you want to talk about with this? And Dick kind of told on himself because he ends up bringing up Will, which then made I had to catch that face, which made Leroy make that face because he was like, I ain't tell you nothing about my son, but yeah, he ain't say that part out loud, but you can see it on his face. But he was like, you'll get to meet him. Oh, my son Will, he out right now. Which how the hell y'all already got Will out for the night, spending the night at somebody's house, and y'all don't know these damn people? Come on, black people, we don't do that.
I didn't know he said spend the night. He said he's at a friend's house visiting.
Okay, maybe it wasn't spend the night. Maybe I'm adding extra. I'm putting 20 on 10.
Yeah, but it was just interesting to see what's his name, Hollering at their dinner table. Because I was wondering how the interaction was going to be between these two brothers. After what just happened on the plane, he basically saved Hanlon basically saved Holleran's life of as he was being swept up into that entity of it. But I'm glad they like calling each other out in so many ways. You know what I mean? Because he know he's in his Holleran's in his mind, and since Holleran know how to read,
that's when it got even more interesting to me because they stepped out on the porch to have a smoke and drink. They did, kind of get away from Charlotte for a minute. She said she was going to get the dessert ready, and that's when he really asked him, like, what is it that was happening up there? What do you do? And Holleran kind of, tried to explain to him in a way of what his shining is. And Leroy did say, like, I'm kind of familiar with that. I've heard of it before, but I've never actually seen it happening. But then he also says, when you asked me about my son in the house, it was a funny, thing that went off in my damn head. And the only other time that happened was when they bust up in my damn room. Yeah. So come to find out, Dick was there the whole damn time. You was down with
I already knew that.
I had a feeling, but that confirmed it. I was like, well,
that really confirmed it, yes. Because last episode when he saw him, he winked at him. I'm like, well, I got a feeling that he already know they was about to bring him in. He probably was in their room. Right. Because that third guy was not doing nothing.
Exactly. Just standing and kind of observing.
You
So
forgot he was there. Like what?
right. I find both of them interesting because Dick is interesting to me because, of course, he has this capability of the shining. Even though I don't even think he fully was aware of what they was bringing him here and what he was about to get himself into. And then Leroy's interesting to me because he's pretty much have this brain injury that it seems like, I don't know if he already did not have fear before the brain injury or if that happened because of the brain injury, but it also seems like it makes him very intuitive at the same time. He doesn't have the fear like other people do. And then he's very like just observant, even the way he was able to break it down and realize that the god, wasn't the one that had the hammer, that he didn't even know how to put it together. He picks up on stuff fast, so it was like, oh, I know you were there and you better not ever do that again. And then I found it interesting for Dick to be like, oh, you ain't got to worry about it, I won't ever do it again, because the fact that you are a person though that don't have fear, like that scares me, because I've never came across nobody like that, and you saved my life. So
Yeah.
I think they pretty much was able to kind of have some sort of respect for each other, or at least say we gonna just
Understanding.
understanding. Yeah, hmm
Yeah.
I like
For
that
sure.
part.
Me too. I'm like, okay. We gonna call each other out. All right. All right.
Now, child, we get to these damn kids at this freaking graveyard. We already knew this was a bad idea. First, y'all got all these candles. Y'all talking about y'all gonna do a seance. Y'all saying we supposed to hold hands. We not supposed to leave the circle. Then we like, well, maybe we should be having our backs to each other. And Rich is just all over the place. He like, oh yeah, right. That's what my cousin had mentioned. Then why the hell wouldn't you tell us that? Then he gonna say, let me get up the pee real quick. And they like, listen, you playing games. So Lily and Ronnie decide they're going to get up out of here, baby, and all hell breaks loose. Monique 69 Ways, what did you think about this?
I thought it was funny because Rich up there saying the prayer in Spanish, and it was his uncle cousin, and then Ronnie looking like, wait a minute, you said it was this person, and then he said, oh yeah, well they heard it, got it from this. I'm like, Rich, you playing games? She's like, oh hell no, you playing games? You gotta, like, I'm about to go, like, in Will was trying to get her to stay and stuff. Because he liked her and stuff like that. And it was funny when they was trying to turn around and their hands touch each other. I'm like, oh, and you can tell they like each other. But it was just funny because he just made up this whole thing basically. And then Ronnie was starting to get on her bike to leave, and then Lily was right behind her, and things went crazy because as they was riding, trying to get out of the opening of the grave cemetery, it seemed like it was farther away, and that's how they know the entity was there. They was like, oh hell no. And then eventually what's his name, Will and Rich got on their bikes. Okay, they was riding
Yeah.
after them, and I think first ghost was Rich uncle.
Yes,
Saw,
Rich saw his uncle, I believe.
and then we
Um,
saw the kids from
then we saw
episode.
Teddy and we saw Susie, but we never saw Phil. So that to me gives me a question mark, because remember last week with the cereal boxes, he was the only one that didn't like look like he was like the what the hell my words, I be getting tongue tied, y'all. I'm sorry. Since I got
Oh,
sick.
they felt like he was decomposing.
Yeah, and then we didn't see his spirit here when we were seeing all the spirits. So I just was like, stick a pin in that. I don't know if that means
I'm gonna
anything.
have to look at it again.
Yeah, I do need to
Be
watch it
certain.
again though. I only watched it once, but I don't remember seeing him. I remember seeing Rich Uncle, Teddy for sure, and Susie for sure, baby. Susie, I was like, what the hell? So of course we like every minute one of them is dropping the camera, then somebody else would get the camera. We all taking pictures,
Yes, take
and
turns.
the last time was Rich dropping the camera, and then Will picks it up, and we of course see something going past him, in that little crib area, and his ass, he was bold because he go walking back in there to take a damn picture. I said, baby, it wouldn't be me. These kids got some heart that I do not have. I'm gonna tell you
I'm
that much.
like, let me find out you like your father. I'm like, you didn't suffer no brain injury in South Korea.
Right. Like maybe he take more after him than what he even realized.
Or his mom,
Okay.
right, or somebody,
Mm-hmm.
mom or somebody, because she into that activist stuff, so she got to have
Mm-hmm.
some fearlessness in her. So
Yes, absolutely. And so they take their behinds to go, get into the school. I said, wow, these kids is really something else. And he begins to, we in the dark room. He's developing these pictures. The pictures is actually coming out. And I was surprised because I didn't know
when they
whether
saw
they
the
would be
first
coming
picture,
out.
they had me rolling. He said, "Oh, I took that." It was Will. I
Yeah,
say, y'all play too much.
it was good pictures. They was clear as day. So we get to this last one. And of course, that's when he have went inside of the crypt, and baby, we like, what is that? And we all leaning in to look at it close and get a closer
Right.
look. And then we like, it's a clown. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I don't know, y'all. Do y'all think we gonna have Pennywise in episode 4? Because we already knew that they wasn't gonna start out with him in the beginning episodes. Like they purposely wanted to hold him back and have it be some other things, because we know that even though that's one of the things that he shows people, he do have several different things that he used, child, probably more than several. That's just one of them. But yeah, now that they got this picture and now that he knows who they are, because I feel like he was playing with them and he also let them get the pictures. Like if he didn't want those pictures to come out, then they wouldn't have came out too. That's at
Right.
least how I look at it. So I'm thinking that he's gonna be messing with them. He's definitely gonna be messing with Dick Holleran now that he done said, "Who are you?" Okay. I don't know. Monique, any thoughts?
No, I don't have no thoughts. I just can't wait to see the next episode where we're gonna go from here once they got this so-called evidence. But will this evidence be enough, or will they stay as evidence?
Right.
That's the question. Hopefully after they get through developing these pics, they take them home or something. Don't leave them in that school.
Yeah, I didn't see. I didn't really like look deep into the trailer, but I seen something with them looking like they're actually trying to take it. I don't remember if it was to the cops or to General Shaw. It doesn't look like they really was paying them any mind, which I didn't think they would, even with them having the pictures. Then you see Ronnie dad is being escorted to like be transferred over
Transport Shawshank.
to Shawshank. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only thing I remember off the top of my head. So I'm thinking that Charlotte may get involved and be like some type of activist to try to help out Ronnie's dad, possibly. And maybe even could probably try to maybe help out with something with Rosie, maybe. I don't know. I know that now that Rosie has kind of put the pieces together with Francis and she knows who he is, she may try to use that to her advantage to see what info she could get out of him. Because, of course, I don't think we went into that too deep, but he also lied to her and said that they were like trying to do something with pipes and what. Oh, yeah, no, damn well, you ain't trying to do no with no damn pipes.
Right.
And he was like, well, come on and help me, assist me so that I don't mess up, with any of y'all hollow ground and we could do it the right way. So maybe with her being able to kind of have that inside, so to speak, she could get a better idea of what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I feel like he gonna be trying to play her because of course he over here like, oh, you could trust me, but can she really,
She said no. She said it. No, she can't.
yeah, like how the hell I'm gonna
You
trust you?
just
I
not getting
ain't.
your memory back, fool. You just not remember my name. Like, no.
And we also seen a part where, she's thinking back at how she had warned him before he was leaving that you're not
Yeah.
even going to remember this no matter how much you want to remember. Because he does tell her, like, oh, I'm never going to forget you and promise me you won't forget me. And that's how she gave him the slingshot back. And she told him when people leave Derry, they don't remember.
Oh yeah.
And
So
so,
she's seen it with her eyes. Like people don't remember when they leave.
yeah.
Oh, that's how. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about that part. Yeah.
Yeah, because I
So
guess
she.
he was about to move or something because his daddy was part of the, you
Mm-hmm.
know, military as well. So
Right. Yeah.
they moved
Yeah.
around. So
Yeah. So I think when he came back, that's probably about the only part he is telling the truth about. Like his memories literally started coming back as he came back, and that probably makes him even more intrigued. Like that's a personal stake that he have in it from what his memories are of when he was last there, as well as it being his job in the military sending him
I
there.
wonder how long was he when he came back? How long was he here? Like for him to trigger this memory? Because I know
Mm-hmm.
he just because he had to. If he had this pre-plan for the Air Force or whatever to come over in this area, that
Mm-hmm.
mean you remember something. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
But if you know what I'm trying to say, like how long you got back into Derry, you remember
Like,
this?
yeah, how long does it take you to remember? Yeah, because even for him to, like I said, still have that slingshot after all of these years and give
And
that
using
to,
hollering and
right. Yeah.
yeah, like how long you was in Derry for them trigger that memory of this entity being here,
Yeah.
and how long did it take to this secret top mission calling
Mm,
hollering and his special gifts? Like how long did that take? Because you so called don't remember when you away,
right.
so it couldn't be pre-planned for you to be here unless
Mm-hmm.
something else happened. I don't know. Look.
Yeah. I personally, unless they get into it deeper and they show us something more, I think that he just followed his father's footsteps, ended up in the military, and the military swears that they
Right.
about to come and get this entity and use it for their, to fight or whatever and to take control of stuff, which that ain't about to happen. That
Hell
they gonna
no.
take all y'all asses out.
Okay.
But then when he got back there, it's like, wait a damn minute. I feel like that's when the stuff started flooding back to him, however long it takes for you to get your memories. Because, like I said, even if you go back and you watch the movie, they was back in town and was still certain things they didn't remember. It was
Right.
when they
So they
got
had
to
to
the
go on their
Chinese
separate
store.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah, they all kind of had their different things. And then when they went to the Chinese store and they sat there and they had the fortune, cookies or whatever,
Cookies. Mm-hmm.
that's when it started being like boom, really coming on to them. So I wish we could kind of see the moment that he have,
Yeah.
his memory flood back. It's very interesting though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She could have. That's a good question. All then says that Rose put some protection on him in that slingshot.
I wouldn't be
That,
surprised her
yeah.
people's
Mm-hmm. It's
or she had her
definitely
people
a
to do it for
possibility.
she probably had her people to do it and she gave it to
Mm-hmm.
him. So that's a big possibility. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
believable.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, that pretty much was the episode, y'all. I am definitely looking forward to the next one. I'm wondering if we gonna
Yes.
really have like, is Pennywise just gonna be all out here? He ready? He up? He hungry? Like, is he gonna be terrorizing them in
Now
this
he
next
hungry.
episode, or is it gonna
Drooling.
be like, is it gonna be like a little peekaboo, and then he gonna really come in episode 5? Like, what y'all think? Put it in the comments. Tell us
Yes.
what y'all thought about this episode, how y'all liking it or not liking it so far. Whatever your opinions are. Again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to both the channels. We will be here.
Yes.
I think on Mondays is when we're gonna be talking about it. So yeah, make
Yes.
sure y'all join us. Monique, you want to tell the people anything else you got coming up that they should be looking out for?
Well, I just did a panel live before we get over here to talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. Welcome to Derry. Yeah, so I did a reasonable doubt panel for episode 9. We got one more episode, y'all, for that. So I can't wait to Thursday to get that finale episode of
Yes.
Reasonable Doubt because look, that got your girl anxious a little bit. And also, Wednesday we do sisters, me, Tamika, Candy Love, and whoever want to join. We talk about sisters after it airs. And also we're gonna talk about finding joy. If you have not watched it, make sure you watch it and be prepared to talk about it because we're gonna go on live Thursday to discuss it. And also, I do first reaction with KJTV to Power Book Force. We do the first reaction after the episode. So yeah. Yep, that's all. Same thing, rinse and repeat. Family business of it all. Keep same repeat.
Yes, and for me, I basically have a lot of the same things as Monique 69 Ways, but I know I'm gonna be going live like every day this week, honey. It's gonna be a busy week, but it's me joining in with some panels, some of the ladies. All right. So of course tomorrow is myself and Candy Love with the Oval, like Monique already mentioned, and Sisters on Wednesdays. Thursday, Find and Joy. Friday is when I join. It's usually EJ, Candy, K Bly from Slice of Horror. I'm not too sure Ruchi will be there, but we will be discussing, of course, the season finale for Reasonable Doubt. Can't wait. Then Saturday, I'll be joining EJ and Tika for Power Book Force, and then we'll be moving that to Fridays in the spot that we normally would do Reasonable Doubt. And I believe Sunday is Family Business. So yeah, full week. Yes. So, if y'all watch any of those, make sure you keep your notifications on and you come in and join us for that. Some other things coming up later on down the line. But shout out to everybody that joined us. Even y'all that didn't speak, I saw y'all. I hope that y'all did hit that like. Lemon Kush Pepper, All In. Eric H was in the building. Let me see, was there anybody else? I don't think nobody else was talking. Y'all was in the cut though. Candy Love, even though she acting scared. Pete Bronson came in, even though you don't watch. I definitely appreciate it. So yeah, that's what we got going on, y'all, and we will be back with the next episode next Monday. Looking forward to it. And I usually join Moochie and them from Mayor Kingstown. I still gotta check out that episode. That show is fire, y'all. If y'all not watching Mayor Kingstown, definitely check that out.
That's a dope series.
Yeah, that's another good one. So yeah, that's that on that, and we will see y'all the next time. Too.
Bye, y'all.
Welcome. Come in. This is Tamika's Den. I'm Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the Den.